Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever noticed a moment that seems ordinary at first glance, yet feels like it holds something much deeper? A moment that isn't loud, not dramatic, almost easy to miss, but when you take a closer look, it leaves an impression that's hard to explain. In one episode of Run BTS, there's a small detail like that. A detail that may seem trivial on the surface, but slowly opens up many questions about habits, about comfort, and about two people who always seem to find a way to connect without needing many words. Today, we're going to talk about that moment. A simple fragment that might not be just a coincidence. In this episode, we are once again shown a dynamic between Jungkook and Jimin that feels subtle yet meaningful. Their interactions aren't always obvious, not always the center of attention, but that's exactly where their strength lies. The small things, the way they move, the way they exist in the same space, even the way they rest, gradually form a bigger picture of a long-established closeness. One of the most intriguing details is the way they sleep. From the clips shown, Jungkook and Jimin's sleeping positions seem to complement each other, like puzzle pieces that naturally fit together. This image indirectly reminds us of another moment, during their military service, when Jungkook often ended up resting his head on Jimin's arm. It doesn't feel staged, nor does it seem like mere coincidence. There's a sense that it happens naturally, almost like an instinct that requires no thought. This compatibility is even visible in something as simple as their resting positions. Jungkook appears to find comfort in that closeness, while Jimin, in his own way, seems to provide that space without being asked. There's no long explanation, no exaggerated gestures, just a harmony that feels clear even without being spoken. Then, with content like, "Are you sure?" which we know doesn't show every moment in full, questions inevitably arise. How many times have they shared moments like this? How often has Jungkook fallen asleep in that same position, as if it were part of a routine so natural to them? These questions may not have definite answers, but that's where the appeal lies, in the empty space that invites interpretation. Entering what fans often call detective mode, viewers begin to notice small details that might have previously gone unnoticed. One of the most striking is a moment in the morning. Jungkook is seen waking up with a low, sleepy voice, a soft expression, and a calm atmosphere. But attention soon shifts to something quite contrasting: Jimin's bed. Unlike the others, Jimin's bed looks extremely neat. No messy blankets, no displaced pillows, as if there were no sign it had just been used. This detail is simple, even trivial, but enough to spark various speculations among viewers. From this point, different theories begin to emerge. Did Jimin actually sleep there? Or is there another possibility that the camera didn't capture? When this detail is connected with other moments, soft whispers, physical closeness, quiet laughter, hand-holding during celebrations, even the domestic-like interactions in the kitchen, they all begin to form their own narrative. However, it's important to distinguish between what is actually shown and what we feel. Visually, what we see are simple facts: a neatly made bed, two people comfortable with each other, quiet conversations, light touches, and a warm atmosphere among the members. There is no concrete evidence pointing to any specific conclusion. What makes it feel deeper is the emotion implied. There's a softness that's hard to ignore, a dynamic that feels different, and a closeness that doesn't need to be exaggerated to be understood. Sometimes, what isn't explained is what feels the most real. In the end, the neatly made bed proves nothing. There are many logical explanations. But that small detail seems to reinforce something that has long been visible: that Jungkook and Jimin are naturally drawn to each other, both physically and emotionally. Maybe that's why this moment feels so significant to many people. Lately, the two of them seem to shine even more. They laugh more freely, move closer without hesitation, and share quiet conversations as if they're in their own world, even when surrounded by others. Whether Jimin actually slept in his bed or not may never be certain. But what is clearly visible is comfort, trust, calmness, and happiness. The way they interact in the morning, soft whispers, exchanged smiles as if sharing private jokes, already feels special without needing any added theories. Sometimes, the magic isn't in proving something, but in the way two people look at each other the next day. On the other hand, this episode is also filled with Jikook moments that are hard to ignore. Their physical interactions feel natural, as if they always find reasons to stay close. Even when Jimin teases or annoys Jungkook, Jungkook still shows consistent care in the end. This dynamic reflects a high level of trust. There is comfort even in small conflicts, because both of them know it won't damage their relationship. In fact, those interactions only reinforce the bond they already have. When they are on the same team with Jin, calling themselves the Jin team, it becomes clear how naturally Jungkook and Jimin work together. They don't always need verbal communication to understand each other. It's as if there's a connection operating behind the scenes, something unseen yet deeply felt. This difference becomes even more noticeable when compared to their interactions with other members. It doesn't mean their relationships with others are less close, but there is a distinct nuance in Jikook's interactions. A softness, a familiarity, and a kind of glow that's hard to describe. Recently, their happy moments have also become more frequent. More laughter, more comfort, and a more relaxed atmosphere. As viewers, it's hard not to feel that happiness as well. One particularly eye-catching moment happens during a volleyball game. In a team consisting of Jikook and Jin, Jimin suggests a unique idea. Every time they score a point, they have to hug. If they lose, they just laugh it off. In concept, the hug is meant to be a group hug. But what's interesting is how Jungkook almost always goes straight to Jimin. Without hesitation, without overthinking, he hugs Jimin with a wide, genuine smile. There's even a moment where he seems reluctant to let go too quickly, as if wanting to hold on to that closeness just a little longer. This spontaneous reaction feels honest. As if, in the middle of the game and team awareness, Jungkook's focus still gravitates toward Jimin. There's also another moment showing how Jungkook consistently stands on Jimin's side. During a small debate about the game rules, Jungkook quickly responds to ensure the situation remains fair for Jimin. He doesn't just defend him, he also looks for a solution that doesn't disadvantage anyone. Even in the context of a simple game, this reflects something deeper: care, attentiveness, and a desire to protect, even on a small scale. Overall, this episode presents the classic Run BTS combination: entertaining chaos, exciting competition, and warm moments that highlight the members' bond. It begins with a relaxed morning atmosphere, where the members are still half asleep. Taeyoung is the first to wake up and tries to wake the others in a rather chaotic way, tickling, shaking, and talking non-stop until everyone is finally awake, despite complaints and laughter. After that, they discuss the penalty from the previous game. The options range from light tasks to heavier ones, like going to Bamunsa to write wishes or doing all the house chores. Among all the choices, going to Bamunsa is considered the most challenging. To decide who will face the punishment, they draw lots randomly. When the result points to Bamunsa, the atmosphere immediately turns more competitive. No one wants to lose. The Jaka game begins with entertaining chaos, many mistakes, delayed reactions, and unexpected moments that make everyone laugh. Team Seekjin manages to win several rounds, although the match remains quite tight. In the end, through an additional round, it is decided that Suga and V must carry out the punishment. After everything is over, the atmosphere becomes relaxed again. They eat together, laugh, and reflect on the events of the day. Meanwhile, Suga and V carry out their punishment in a calmer setting, writing wishes for the future, including hopes for 2026 to be a successful year for BTS. And in the end, we may never truly know what happened behind all those small details. But that's exactly where the beauty lies. It's not about finding definite answers, but about feeling the warmth, the comfort, and the sincerity of a connection. Because sometimes the most real things are not what we clearly see, but what we can truly feel.